Can I be honest for a sec? You could be smart, successful, and do everything right, and still feel like something is just off. Not falling apart, but not fully clicking either. And most of the time, it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because nobody ever taught you how to actually lead yourself. And if you're like me or the women that I work with on a regular basis, it's not because you're lacking ambition. You're not lacking discipline. You're just trying to make sense of everything you're carrying, everything you're building, and everything you know you're capable of. So in this video, I want to talk through a few things that have been absolute game changers for me. Personal mastery, emotional intelligence, communication, and staying teachable. This isn't anything fluffy. This is real talk, real things that have helped me feel more clear, more confident, and more aligned in my life. Are you ready to feel the same? Let's go ahead and get started then, girl. We're going to start with personal mastery because everything really builds off of this area. I know personal mastery has this big, feeling that goes along with it, but really it's just about knowing yourself and knowing what you need to do and be your best, regardless of the situation. And when I say do and be your best, I don't mean that version of yourself that you can see on paper that looks great. I'm talking about the real version. The one that has the eye mask on and the satin bonnet when you go to bed, that chick. Because a lot of us, we're doing the things, but it's not consistent. Some days you're on it, some days you're not. Some days you're like, what the heck is happening? And what that typically means is you don't have a system that supports the life you really live. And if you've been around for any particular time on this channel, you've heard me talk about your personal operating system very frequently. And that, I believe, is the reason, or the lack of having a personal operating system is the reason that we often feel this way. Now, if you haven't been here, then let me just ease your mind. A personal operating system isn't as complicated as it sounds. It just means you have a clear way to make decisions, manage your time, and show up consistently. And this is important because if you don't have a personal operating system, you rely on how you feel on any particular day. And we both know feelings are not reliable. The thing that really shifted the idea for me, or the mindset for me, is a statistic that I talked about on this channel recently and often, and that is only about 10 to 15% of us are actually self-aware. And this means most of us are just guessing our way through life. It's not random. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about your zone of genius here, because it really does matter. It's not just about what you can do. It's what you do well, what you can do consistently without draining yourself. Because honestly, when you're outside of that zone of genius, everything feels harder than it should. You become tired, you become overwhelmed, you start to question yourself. But when you're in it, when you're in your zone of genius, things feel easier. They work more smoothly and you feel more like yourself. And when that happens, you start building that confidence. The next area I want to look at that is a game changer is that emotional intelligence. This is how you show up around other people. It's one of the things that people really don't talk about in the leadership space, the way I like to approach it anyway, because it affects everything. Your emotional intelligence affects everything. You can be talented, driven, all the things, but if you don't know how to navigate people, you're only slowing yourself down. And it's really just a few things to consider when it comes to emotional intelligence, like having empathy for other people, being able to read the room in social settings, being socially aware. You want to be able to pick up on what's being said, what's not being said. That's just as important. And this is a phrase that I coined inside my program, Project CEO, but managing the volume of your personality is also key when it comes to emotional intelligence. And when I say manage the volume of your personality, I don't mean I want you to shrink yourself so that others can be big. What I mean is knowing when to speak, when to listen, when to lean in, and when to step back. And this takes maturity. Quite honestly, it also takes practice, but it does matter because studies show that emotional intelligence is responsible for up to 90% of what sets high performers apart. Not degrees, it's not experience, it's how you show up with people. That's what creates opportunities. Now, let's move on to the third area that is a game changer for high performers and powerful women, and that is communication. Is why people get you or they don't. Now, when it comes to communication, this is where things can get a little bit hairy, a little bit misunderstood. You can know exactly what you're talking about and still not land the message. Hi, I'm a card carrier of the misunderstood inability to communicate her effective message. I've been there, done that. I get it. And I know I'm not alone because I've seen other women that I work with have the exact same challenge. We either say too much, we over explain, or we just don't realize how we're coming across. So let's simplify that, shall we? The way to do this is to say what you mean clearly. You don't have to overprove yourself, but you should be mindful of your timing. Listen more than you talk. And I mean, really listen, not just waiting for your turn to say whatever it is you want to say, but actually hearing the person you're talking to and reflecting back or summarizing what it is you heard. It could be as simple as saying something like, okay, what I'm hearing you say is blah, blah, blah. That alone will build trust. And the thing is, research actually backs this up. Leaders who practice active listening are actually seen as more trustworthy and effective. So it's not just about being heard, it's about being understood. Now, let's head into this last area that powerful women understand as game changers in the leadership space, and that is staying teachable. And I get it. Like, as someone who strives to be her best and she's, ambitious and trying to go after the thing, sometimes it feels like, we've mastered it. We got it. We're the expert. We are an expert. We've done all the things. We've read all the books. We have all the information. But the truth is that mindset will actually slow you down because nobody actually has it all figured out. And women and people who grow the fastest, stay open. They're not defensive. They're not closed off. They're just like, okay, what can I learn from this? That should be the mindset. What can I learn from this? And that right there is what keeps you evolving. If you've been around for a while, I have a podcast called the CEO Mindset Podcast. And that CEO stands for constantly evolving and being open to failing forward. That is the mindset we need to have if we want to stay teachable, because this also keeps you sharp. It keeps you aligned. So when you look at all of this, it's not about doing more. It's about understanding yourself better. And when you do that, things start to feel different. They become clearer. You find yourself feeling more grounded and more confident in how you move. Okay, so if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I've been doing a lot, but I actually don't have a system to support the life that I'm trying to live. That's exactly why I created my mini course, the Executive Alignment Framework Leadership Intensive. This is actually where we take all of this that we're just now talking about and we build it out in your real life. Your systems, your structure, your clarity. So you're not waking up every morning trying to figure out what step over and over again. If you're ready to feel more focused, more aligned, and more in control of your life, click the link in my description below and join us. Come on in, join the fam, join the boss squad. We'd love to see you there. All right. I hope that these 4 areas that powerful women are using, they already know are game changers, have been helpful for you. If they have, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a big thumbs up, and make sure that if you are subscribed, make sure that you've hit that notification bell so as I upload videos, you will be notified and won't miss out. Thank you so much for joining me this week for another video. I hope to see you back here again next week. Thank you so much. Leave a comment. Tell me which of these areas you've mastered, and then tell us how you did it, girl, because we are a community. We grow together. We learn together. So share your success with us as well. All right. Again, bye, guys.